little bit sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Ooh. Oh, there's another voice in here.
Did you hear that?
I did. And I hope everyone else did, because we've had some mic problems today.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we sound a lot better now.
We should do the introduction of who we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Maple.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And this is our power hour of true crime, where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or no reasons at all, because people fucking suck.
That is very true.
And we have a guest today.
We do.
Mary-Katherine Maddox. Hello, MCAN.
Hello, everybody.
I'm hoping you guys remember her from our previous episode. This is the first time that somebody has ratched around for a second time.
Well, she got the number one episode of 2022, the highest ranking one.
I feel so special.
You really should.
Therefore, we brought her back.
Oh, I thought you said there's only 4.
There are only
Well,
4.
that's also true.
No.
So congratulations on being number 1 of 4.
Yay.
That's a hard achievement.
So we're not going to do another intro.
Yeah.
Normally we do. We ask you all these questions about your death row meal
Right.
and all that stuff. So
No,
if
we
you
already
want to
did
hear
it.
all those fun facts, you can go back and listen to the Lizzie Borden episode that I don't remember.
I know. I don't know the
number.
I remember the name. I don't remember the name of it either.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like it had
you're
to
an
do with
honorary
Diet Dr. Pepper.
You're an honorary sasshole.
It could have. I'm over here with my genius. I'm like, ooh, let me just give really important quirks in here. I got nothing. Can I just jump in on something that's been fucking, it burned my biscuits and I have yet
Yes.
to get over it?
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
let's do
Sometimes those things happen that just get under your craw and you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me that I haven't been able to release this.
What's a
And
craw?
I don't know.
I say that
right
too,
here.
and I've always wondered.
It's right here.
What is that?
Like your
under your neck?
Not your neck and not your,
Like your chest.
décolleté. What do you
Like
call this?
your decolletage.
Décolletage. Thank you.
It's one of the
what
first
that's
things
called?
to age, bitches.
Yes.
Y'all better make sure you be moisturizing
Your
it.
upper titty area.
Your
Yeah, your
upper
chest.
tit, your
Decolletage.
titty spoopa? Is that what-
Where your snacks sometimes fall and collect.
Okay.
Your snack
Yeah.
tray.
Snack tray.
So back to it. So, okay, me and Travis are at Kroger.
Speaking of snacks.
Yeah, and we had our bevy at Crowbar, and we had kind of we had a decent amount of groceries, but at the end of the day, if at any grocery store anymore, there's 15 fucking lines and there's no one working them, and you have to do like the self-checkout ones with like the long line, right? Like the long, this thing, I swear to you, fucking bothered me for like 3 days where I could feel it in my core how much it bothered me. So this woman was behind me, probably late 40s. I feel like I just have to say it. We live in Owensboro, Kentucky. So I really feel like it's like Southern. You can say we're Southern. You can say we're Midwest. At the end of the day, I don't really fucking care. But like, we're usually just nice people. We're
Yeah.
nice and helpful people. We work hard at that. So Travis is going through, and we had a lot of vegetables. So I'd say I was pretty fast. My first job was like working at a grocery store. So I feel pretty good through my,
fun fact.
well, actually, I guess second, because my first one was McDonald's, like everyone's when we were doing jobs when we were 15. And as we're scanning through, Travis accidentally like knocks over orange juice, like the bottle of orange juice, and it breaks. And like the guy comes and he cleans, and we're kind of dealing with the situation. But we're going through. It's a little bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, like,
Don't
it was
cry
just
over spilled orange juice.
yeah, it was no fucking big deal. Well, anyway, the people beside us, this older woman, and then this one guy that works out at the gym here who looks just like a gremlin psycho. Like, I don't care. If you're listening to the podcast, you are 4'2" and you're a dick.
Get it
So
together.
they're both talking shit about us. And I'm aware of it. Yeah. So I'm aware of it. Like they're laughing at the fact that Travis, I think, like they're laughing at the fact that Travis had knocked over the orange juice and that I had I'd put a bell pepper down and it would be like re-ring it up. Like, do you know where the belt moves and I had to so it was like I was kind of going through an annoying moment and they were right next to me, and then Travis was definitely dealing with the situation. So they say so, and Travis had noticed it, and I just didn't give a fuck. And whenever it was done, they were like, "Thank goodness that's over." And so whenever we're in, and I because they were so shitty, I was like, "Oh, okay, well I'll help you out because I'm a fucking idiot, I guess." And so Travis goes to get another orange juice, and I'm like, "I'll help bag her stuff," because she was alone and had almost the same amount of groceries. So I was like, oh, I'll just start bagging her stuff. I was like, oh,
so nice.
She turns to me and glares at me like I fucking stole her groceries. Gives me the dirtiest look and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm sorry that we took so long. I just figured I'd help you bag your stuff. And she goes, the hard part's figuring out where to put it. And I was like, what part? I even double bagged her like milk.
Yes.
You know, and I like put stuff. And when we run our stuff through through our grocery thing, like we specifically put like raw meat together, so it's like it's a really fast kind of thing. She didn't, so that's the other reason why I was like, okay, well, I'll make sure to pull stuff over to the side. I ended up bagging like 4 or 5 things for her, and at some point through it, she finally like stops being angry, and I literally looked. I was like, he has to go get a new orange juice, so I figured I would just help while he was getting the orange juice, you know. And then when Travis is finally coming up, because I could feel her mad, and I was like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not going to fucking stop. I had enough of my fucking little delicious beer that I had just the right level of a buzz to be like, I don't give a fuck. Get mad that I'm helping you bag your groceries. And you're acting like it's... And by the way, like, I'm not even saying anything on the way I look, but I don't look like a fucking crack addict that doesn't know how to bag groceries.
Right.
Yeah.
That college degree really helped me figure out to put raw meat with raw meat, double bag the big milk, you know, like, chill out. So whenever Travis comes up, the guy goes, it looks like your wife got a job at Kroger. And like we literally leave and I'm just like, I am ate up from it. Was I wrong for doing that? Was it rude to do that? Was it wrong to touch someone else's groceries? Like I was trying to, like I really beat myself up over that.
No, that it is extra helpful, but there was no need for them to be so fucking rude about it. If they don't want you to touch their meat or whatever, they could just say that.
Right.
Like, thank you, but we got this, or whatever.
And they were separate people. So it's like her by herself. And I was like, you're going to take 10 times longer than me and Travis did.
Yeah.
Like, truly.
You know, here's what you do. You either take all their shit and you run. You say, you know what the hard part is?
Yeah.
Catching me with all your shit.
Right?
Or you take the jug of milk and you open it a little bit and you slam it on the ground. It's just
like
mess for them to clean up.
Take a drink of it, make eye contact,
chug
and set it back in the bag.
God.
Just
but
chug
when
the milk.
she said the hard part is where to put it, I would tell her 8 feet inside her pimply ass.
I was just like, so not only did you talk shit about a very normal experience while we were trying, and we were also like, there was a hiccup in our journey. Yeah. But then whenever I help you, you literally, like, she turned around, she's like, like that, like
you wanted to spill the orange juice and ruin their day,
right? Or like I literally had just pissed on my hands and touched her baby's face. I was like,
she doesn't know.
I get so burnt up when people get mad at you for doing nice things. It just really fucked with like what I think about society right now. And I've been dying to talk about it, but this was like a month ago and it still kind of hurts me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to let it, I'm going to release it today.
And now it's gone.
And now I feel better because you guys are like, that was nice. I was like, I thought it was nice. And Travis was like, it was nice, Brooklyn.
Your feelings are valid, nice. Brooklyn.
Do you feel
and that
validated?
Bitch also does not know how much you know about murder and getting away with it.
That's very true.
She would have thought twice.
She would have. She would have fucked around and I just would have thrown everything on the floor and taken it out of the bag, made eye contact with her the whole time, taken everything back out of the bag and be like, that's fine. You can figure out where to put it. You little gremlin, bitch. Angry inch.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm mad. Who is she? No one's mean to my
sister.
sister.
I'm going to hunt her down. My blood pressure is.
I know. Now I'm mad.
Thanks, guys. That makes me feel better because I really was like, why am I so torn up over it? Because I thought I was being nice. And then for somebody to like react so negatively, it was like, ooh.
Do you, when you hold the door open for somebody, if they don't say thank you or something, or do you get mad?
No.
No? Okay. I'm just curious. I don't either. No one does. No, what?
I don't get mad because I just think people are like,
just
I don't know.
Thanks. Oh, thank you. And if I let you go in front of my car and I'm driving, just a little wave. And
the waves have been very nice.
Pretend to scurry. If I let you merge, which I rarely do, if I'm having a good day, then I want a little toodaloo.
My big thing too is like so I've really been trying to be more empathetic of people and understanding that we're all going through our own things.
Right.
But like they were both like ganging up on us, two strangers. We're just being cuntwads. like somebody not saying something whenever I open up the door. Who knows what they just fucking went through today, and they're not even realizing that somebody opened the door for them. But I saw this one person on Instagram. I wish I could remember their name because I fucking love them. But he was talking about haters, and he was like, haters are literally people who their favorite hobby is to hate on other people. And like, how fucking stupid is that? They were like, in the past, you were just an asshole, and we would call you an asshole, and we'd hit you in the face, and we'd tell you stop being an asshole. Now we like publicize haters.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck them.
Right?
Bitches.
Worthless.
Exactly.
Not even. It is not, you know what? No longer worth your energy, Brooklyn.
I agree. And now I can let it go.
Yeah.
Because
Elsa.
these
They don't
beautiful
deserve
ladies
that.
have told me I can.
Elsa, that shit.
You know what I can't wait to hear about is your story.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because y'all haven't really been like following this hardly at all, right?
I personally
a little
haven't.
bit, you know about it, maybe.
I've dabbled a little bit, just a smidge.
You
Okay.
said that you saw it in all of the forums that you follow for a podcast, but like I personally have not tripped on this at all.
Oh my God, I can't
Her
believe
face
it.
didn't look familiar. None of it looked familiar.
Yeah. It
And
is
I just skimmed because I was like, I want to at least have the Cliff's Notes
Right.
to understand.
Yeah.
The very middle.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, we changed the game a little bit because normally when a guest comes in, they tell a story that's connected to their childhood, and you already did one.
I don't really think that's a thing. I think it's just that's how it happened with our first.
Or something that's meaning, some
Yeah,
story that like is
something
meaningful
That
that
or
means
whatever.
something
Hold
to
on.
them or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this time you kind of went a different route, so I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah.
which is good.
I mean, it's
because-
totally relevant right now. We don't even know, you know, I'm using air quotes here, the truth, even
Yeah.
though I think once we get into all the details,
Let's get into those.
we
details.
know what happened, or at least
Let's
I
get in
know
the
what happened.
backyard.
Okay.
Let's get our garden gloves on and let's start digging.
Okay,
bitches.
so I'm going to start with like the first thing that popped up on social media, like the first, I guess, introduction that people got whenever this case first came about.
Mm-hmm.
So, April 28th, Pastor John Paul Miller
Of this year.
Of this year.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
This is like happening
Yeah,
right
okay.
now,
This
y'all.
is happening.
Okay.
This is a current event. This is
And-
the first time we've ever done a current one.
Really?
Yeah, we've never done current.
Oh, well, la-di-da.
I feel like I'm in social studies again.
Hold on to your tits. Okay, Pastor John Paul Miller of Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, announces to his congregation at the end of the service, he's preached 2 services that morning, by the way,
Okay.
that his wife was dead.
Oh.
Her body found at Lumber River State Park in Robeson County, North Carolina, and it was self-induced, he said.
Okay.
Oh.
He also reminds the congregation, he talked about this a lot actually, the fact that she suffered from mental illness. So that's what you see. He asked the congregation, please don't discuss this. Please just leave and go about your business.
Please don't talk about this horrible thing I'm going to tell you.
That I
about-
just-
major
about my
bombshell.
I
wife.
just shit on your desk. And
Yeah.
I'm like, but hey, don't smell it.
Don't hold your breath.
Oh, what the fuck?
Hold your breath.
Yeah.
And why didn't he tell the other 2 groups? I'd be pretty shitty if I was the 9 a.m. early bird.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
If I was like,
I got the worm, but I didn't get the juicy
Well, they're
story.
not supposed to talk about it afterwards. So
Right.
what if you went to church after me and I'm like, I got a secret?
So, and she had been a member there for a long time, was his wife, obviously, pastor's wife's very
Yeah.
involved in churches.
Yeah.
So drops the bomb very calmly, by the way.
I'm sure. Because
Yeah.
murderers
I saw
tend to.
that part.
Yeah.
He did say it like,
He looked fine. I saw only a photo and he just looked like, hey,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
something happened.
So from there, we're going to skirt all the way back in time to the very beginning of this story.
From now on, we have to always do that.
Okay. I'm gonna. There's so much information. I'm gonna try to tell this in a way that is not super confusing and bouncing around and stuff. Okay, but I make no promises because my ADHD is wild.
that's fine.
It happens.
So, John Paul Miller began grooming Mica. Okay, this is
Oh, no.
that kind of situation since she was 10 years old.
10. How old was he again?
25. When she was 10, he was 25.
I want to
So I've
vomit.
read. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he knew her. She told friends, about the situation. She also told the police, which I'll tell you about in a minute, that this happened. So let's go forward in time a little bit. John Paul Miller also officiated Mica's first wedding that happened in 2012.
Oh, jeez.
This.
And according to sources, Mica and John Paul were having an affair at the time of her motherfucking wedding. Okay.
Oh, no.
So, our friend Marshmallow's marrying us, which is I met through Travis's. Like, it's Travis's friend.
I love a food nickname.
Oh, I do too. And he is like perfect.
You're not having an affair with him?
No, but I'm like, what the fuck?
Right?
The thought of that.
Like, why even bother?
Why do it? There's no reason.
I know, right? Well, I'm going to call him
not having an affair
JP,
with.
I think.
Yeah, JP
I'm going to
sounds
bounce
cool.
back and forth. John Paul, JP, asshole. Those are his 3 names.
There you go.
He was also married at the time to a woman named Allie.
Of course.
And so they'd been together for a while. They had some kids and whatnot. And Allison filed for a divorce after catching JP and Mica in the affair. They, I guess, were caught in a sexual act in 2015.
They're lucky they weren't murdered.
Right.
So a few months later, JP announces the affair to the church, asks for forgiveness, yada, yada, yada. So according to court documents, Allison, the ex-wife, says, our separation was a result of my discovering that the defendant was having an affair with the praise and worship leader in our church, who was also the weekly babysitter of our 4 children.
That's what I was going to say. She
And
was
the
their
wife
babysitter.
Of his best friend.
Yeah.
So her ex-husband was also his best friend.
All of that is so fucked.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He also admitted to both his ex-wife and the congregation that he had an addiction to prostitution
Oh my fuck.
and that he had sexual encounters with young females, multiple, who were under the age of 16.
Okay, how is, you know what? This is the reason why I can't get into that God shit.
It's so typical of youth pastors. It's
100%
coming
always.
out all over.
all the time.
That's
It's like,
wild.
oh, somehow because God will forgive me, I can literally do whatever I want and then just be like, I am forgiven.
Well, these people are put in a position of power, and they're often narcissists.
Yes.
And just it's like hunting ground for vulnerable people,
That's
young
wild.
women.
It's the same
Yeah.
with like teachers, coaches, even religious leaders.
Priests,
for sure.
all- yes.
They're not all bad, but
But we only hear about the bad ones,
Yeah.
right? We don't
Oh,
hear
yeah.
about the
You're
good
not
ones.
gonna
Yes,
hear
I
about
know.
that.
Not all preachers. I know. There's good ones out there.
We're
I know.
just going to say it because we've also
There's
done
a
a lot
trend.
of stories about preachers who be putting hands in snake cages. So they're kind of bad.
There is a trend, a noticeable trend.
There is.
Okay. All right. So JP and ex-wife Allie initially signed a divorce agreement that agrees that JP would pay $1,200 in child support and $1,100 in alimony. He made one payment before saying he could no longer afford the amount.
I swear to God.
Loser.
So how did they pick the dollar amount?
You know, I don't know.
So if I
I'm
was
not
going to
sure.
go through the experiences of my life, not for anyone that's like, what? I don't have any kids I'm paying any child support on. But from what I've experienced, like it's usually based off of like an
Income, right?
income.
Well,
So that's why
apparently-
it's interesting whenever you can just be like, oh, but now I can't.
Right. So he claims that he was earning more than ever, but the stress of finances was unbearable. He also claimed that he'd fallen out of a tree and broken his legs.
What?
While trying for reconciliation. I say that in quotes.
What?
Like say
Okay, it
was
anything
like-
or something.
Wait, so he tried to climb up and peep in her window and be like,
That's
I
what I'm
love
thinking.
you. And then he fell and broke his legs. Well, you could still preach from a chair or some crutches.
He showed up to court in a wheelchair and everything.
Oh, drama.
Heather's response. Oh, drama. I'm like, that is not what I was like, psychopath. That's a psychopath.
Right?
If you're saying that you are fine with having those children, but you do not care to pay okay, fuck the alimony. At the end of the day, let's be honest, we are 3 strong, independent women. I do not need you to give me money so that I can feel like I can still support myself the way that I had whenever or before I had you.
Yeah. But for me, it
No,
would be
for
more
kids?
about like the revenge, the karma of him struggling financially.
Oh, yeah.
For me, that's
really?
what it would be.
Eat
about.
ramen
Yeah.
noodles and give me money.
Yes.
That is a cozy blanket on a Saturday night where I'm like, bitch, you broke.
Fire on
and
with
your
my
legs
damn
are
self.
broken.
And
Yeah.
your legs are broken.
Stupid. Still probably fucking.
So that happened in 2017, yeah?
Yeah.
That's also the year that Mica and JP were married.
Same year.
Same year.
She said, you know what? I'm going to get with that. Mm-hmm. But he also
keep in mind, he's been grooming her since she was 10 years old.
That's so fun.
And just get ready.
What's grooming?
Lots of shit was happening.
Exactly.
Older men manipulating younger women.
Earning their trust.
Their trust. The whole like quid pro quo, like they get them to, they just manipulate, they bamboozle them.
Like pedophiles,
the
kind of love
bamboozles.
bomb them, manipulate them, use their position and age.
I don't know how we lived with, like before knowing what love bombing was. Like there was a whole life before we knew what love bombing was.
Yeah,
and then we figured it out in like 3 years, and now we're like, man, these motherfuckers be doing that shit all the time.
I know that and gaslighting. You hear that shit all the time.
Oh yeah, he'd be doing a lot of that too. Okay, so I don't know a lot actually. I do know about their marriage, but in the timeline of events, the next big thing to happen was her filing for divorce in 2023. In the fall of 2023 is when this current string of events started to occur. Okay. For some reason in February, well, I'm about to tell you a reason probably is what it was. In February of 2024, it was dismissed.
What was?
The divorce.
The divorce.
Oh. Does that mean one of them changed their mind?
Well, February 8th, Mica was involuntarily hospitalized by JP.
So he checked her in.
Yes.
Oh.
And prior to her admission to this facility, she'd been gathering and sorting evidence to take to an attorney for the divorce to support her claims against him. And all of these things mentioned his abuse, his character, his paramours. So apparently had,
what is that?
Once a cheater, always a cheater kind of thing.
Yeah.
His young new things.
I'm all for people and their jobs. Okay. So I'm not trying to talk shit about prostitutes, but the millisecond that the P word, as in prostitutes, pops up, I'm like, is this chlamydia, gonorrhea, or syphilis day? Because like any weenus that's dipping up in there, with a lot of them other weenuses, things left behind.
Maybe, if she's a professional and she's doing what she needs to do.
Yeah.
Getting
I
checked
highly
regularly.
doubt he's getting the very expensive ones.
Oh no, he gets down and dirty.
That's what she's like. Unless he's a $2,000 a night lady. Well, I don't think that's the lady of the night he likes.
Me neither.
Especially when he's having sex with 16-year-olds. I'm just kind of like, why would you marry that? Like, if you knew the 800 red flags besides like essentially being a pedophile, but also prostitutes. I'm like, I don't know if there's a bigger red flag.
Yeah.
Than like what we're talking about.
Well, that's
being groomed.
That's why she's done. That's why she's
for that long. So of course she's going to be like, he does no wrong, because it's like a churched up way to say like brainwash. In my opinion,
it was his demons.
So like he kind of.
So he also apparently had paid off people, blackmailed people. She had all kinds of dirt on him. And while she was at the facility, all of those documents, emails, files were removed from her phone, personal laptop, etc. Also, it seems JP continued to use at least one of her accounts to cause people to believe that it was Mica communicating with them. So he has a history of like being sneaky. So she was discharged on February 10th. She was only there for a few days. And that's when hospital staff informed her that JP had picked up her purse and her car keys while she was in the hospital.
Oh, no.
She gets out and she goes to where she had left her car. It's not there. So he's taken it. She has no identification because it was all in her purse. She has nothing.
Oh, no.
So she goes to the police and files a report. And that's when she tells the police about the whole grooming thing. That's when that came out.
Yeah.
So then when they contacted JP to ask him about it, he's like, oh, well, she suffers from mental health disorders. They cause her to become reckless and spend large amounts of money. So he claimed that he took possession of the vehicle to make sure that she didn't sell it or take it to buy a bunch of shit.
Because she would just do that the second she got out of.
Right.
Yeah.
Step 1, get out of mental health facility. Step 2, sell car.
Shopping spree.
Step 3, buy that blouse I've been looking at all spring long.
That's what I always do.
That's literally how I've been doing it.
Oh, me, oh, my. So, he left her with nothing. So, shortly after that, Mica moved in with a friend, and her father helped her get a new car so she could drive herself to work and all that jazz. And she got new identification.
Wait, so she never got to, like, come back and just get her shit? Like, he just fucking took it? Like,
I don't know.
Because I'm like, if that was her car in her name, you can't just take it.
Yeah. Well, I guess because they were married.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
that because it was his too.
Maybe both of their names
I don't know,
are on
but
it or
for
just
whenever
his.
you do it, though, it's either an and or. And so if both names are on it, you have to have the other one in there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's
Unless
just
it's-
him.
I don't remember coming
don't
across
know.
anything about
knows?
that. It may be in these bazillions
I'm
of
just
notes.
right. I'm just over here like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's a valid question.
Yeah.
That'd be shitty as hell. You just took my fucking Ravi and now you're gone.
I'd let him take my car. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's stolen insurance.
She does eventually get her her own place and all that. So
Good for her.
I
mean, it
somehow that worked
doesn't
out for
help
her, I guess.
anything,
I
but-
know, right? Ugh. So anyway, there's just incident after incident of him harassing her and stalking her.
Did you see the one about his post?
Oh God, yeah.
Are you going
I'm not to that yet,
Ooh,
but yes.
somebody- Oh, okay. It'll come later.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just continue to sit awkwardly like I am at this table.
So one of her closest friends has shared a conversation that she had with her where she's like, my husband's going to try to find me. She calls her in the middle of the night, by the way. She's like, my husband's going to find me. He's going to say I killed myself. He's going to tell the whole church every opportunity that I have a mental illness to make me look like I, was
That
crazy.
is so terrifying.
I know. I know.
Of course they're going to believe him.
Yeah. He had threatened her with a gun before and told her to never leave him, all that kind of stuff, that he was never going to let her go. Yeah. There's nowhere I can't go. There's nowhere you can go that I can't find you.
Oh,
This
God.
was very like 1860s. Like that's what they used to do to women if like we weren't listening to our husbands. They'd take you to an insane asylum and then you die there so they can get a new wife. And like it's just
Yeah.
it is actually like a very smart move.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This was actually pretty genius, except for the fact that he's nasty.
Well,
Yeah.
if he took her in there to the mental hospital and then he said she was trying to harm herself, that boosts his future case
Yeah, it
anyway.
creates a history.
And it
100%. Like,
buys
now
him
she's
72
suicidal.
hours because they have to do. So
Yep. He also had her taking medications. I don't know all of them, but one of them he mentioned multiple times was lithium. So
God.
he was working on frying her brain, basically.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait, like from the like what?
Because of her mental illness, they
Yeah,
said
but
like
what's
she was
lithium?
bipolar and schizophrenic. It's a very,
Very strong.
very strong drug. Like Britney Spears was put on lithium.
Oh,
Amanda
shit.
Bynes was put on
Oh,
lithium.
no.
Women who were hysterical all throughout time were just thrown in a mental hospital, given lithium until they actually
Became
went
crazy.
bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart is breaking.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So her friends that she told were definitely scared. She also told them, I think I know too much and he wants to keep me quiet, wants to shut me up. She also told her friends, this same husband who was a preacher, who preached regularly about the dangers of pornography and blah, 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 that he was definitely addicted to sex. He required her to have sex with him 3 to 5 times a day. Who has the time or energy? I'm
Wait,
so sorry, Michael.
Listen, I would have to quit my job
Right?
and like.
I would be exhausted. I'm like, I got to do it before work. I got to go home and get my snack, my
Think
lunch
of
break.
your poor
Yeah.
vagine.
Oh my God.
Absolutely
Chafing
not.
of sorts.
Chafy.
Yeah.
Chafing, right? I feel like that much banging leads to
Yeah.
chafing.
Definitely. Even if you use proper lubrication.
Yes, because there ain't no way you're getting.
And soreness? Like what? I just,
I don't know.
Did you know he
Five
wasn't gentle?
I was like, he probably has a small dick though. Like he's giving me a lot of small dick energy.
Right?
Yeah.
For all we know,
probably
it's
right.
I don't know.
You're probably right. It's a micro
I'm
penis.
feeling it.
Either
I'm
way,
feeling
though.
it.
Either
or I'm not
way,
feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
Is it in?
I just can't. I don't know. I was like, are we doing this right now?
Be like, oh, you're already doing it. Oh, okay, hang on.
No, that's great. That's great right there. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, where's the remote? Oh, you're going. Okay.
Okay, it gets worse.
How's it worse than 35 times, 35 times a week?
35 times.
If you do it 5 times a day, just
Oh my gosh, math. Yes,
math.
you're right.
I just mathed that out real quick.
Oh my God.
At night, if she refused to comply, she told her friends he kept her awake by blaring loud music or throwing water on her as she fell asleep.
No, fuck him in the ass.
That's torture.
Fuck him 3 to 5 times a day in the
when
ass.
the
Tortured,
military
yeah.
tortures
Yes,
spies or whatever, that's what they do.
No, absolutely not. You're not going to waterboard me, you little penis asshole.
So when Mica couldn't keep up with his insane sexual demands, he allegedly began forcing her to take testosterone shots to increase her sex drive. And also began engaging in other methods of sexual gratification, which dehumanized her, such as...
Oh, God.
involving animals, homeless men, and sex toys.
Okay, I didn't read it. Where is this coming from? Like,
this is coming from her friends.
Okay, so like you got from like
so it's the horse's mouth.
Sources.
She relied.
Sources.
Yes, there were
Like
there's
good
a good
sources.
She told friends and made sure that they knew.
Yes.
Because women, once more, those little moments of advice. If someone is doing something that is incorrect, not okay.
If you feel it in your gut, this is wrong.
This is wrong. Communicate it.
Yeah.
Even if you're afraid of shame or embarrassment, tell someone. And it's even better if you put it in writing.
Yeah.
Make sure there is always a fucking paper trail.
Right.
Yeah.
And so good on her for telling people. But okay, so he made her what? Huh? On the animal front.
Yes.
Okay, homeless, I can get. Just be like, hey, yo, Johnny, come into the house.
Oh, my
I can
God.
figure that out. I can see how that happened. Like, there's a homeless man, hop in the shower, get in the bed.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the animals.
I know. And I don't know if she was involved with the animals or if it was him and she was there.
And she had to watch him fuck a dog.
I know.
Oh,
Or if the sex
God.
toys were involved in that. Or surely not that. God, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's so fucked up.
It is
so
so
fucked up.
fucked
The whole
up.
thing is
I know.
fucked up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
just
her friends
cry
were
in my
shocked.
dog's arms, you know?
I don't know why her friends, when they heard that, they weren't like, bitch, we got to get you out of there.
The second.
Yeah, right?
I am ripping you.
Or maybe they
Out of the
did.
house.
God, I don't know. But
Well, she wasn't living with him, right, then? So maybe
Right.
she told him after, like, hey, I have to tell
Yeah.
you, I finally feel like I can tell you that he made me touch a cow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had to pick a ridiculous animal because the dog thing really made my stomach hurt.
Yeah, it made
right?
me want to vom.
You're welcome.
So, but apparently he treated her like garbage in general. So they were shocked, but they were like, oh, damn.
I had no idea it was this bad.
So let's see here. Her friend said the way he would talk to her in front of people, he would talk down to her and the light would just go out of her face and everything.
Did he do that like at church? Here's the
Yes.
thing. Like
around people.
if people like,
saw
in
it.
the congregation, if you saw your pastor doing that, like, no, I don't believe anything.
So
you
many
say.
people, though, they have very rose-colored glasses when it comes to their preachers. Like,
true.
in their eyes, they're the ones speaking of God's word.
That's
and
true.
that just, there's no breaking that. So they probably don't even notice it or see it. to be
That's
honest.
true. It's like
Or
the
they're
snake-
like, yeah, his wife really needs to get her shit together. If I was his wife,
oh yeah,
I would be
Don't take his
amazing
side.
because God would be touching my shoulders.
Like that snake guy that I did, and he tried to kill her, and then the congregation turned on her. And then she was
What the
like,
heck?
"But he tried to kill me." Okay.
Like, wait a minute. What?
This
Yeah.
is wrong. But then again, what? Are you telling me society picked the male over the woman?
I know.
Shocking.
It's this new concept. I'll explain it to you later.
It's crazy.
Okay, so February 23rd. We've not gotten very far.
I'm going to stop talking for a minute and let you get some progress in.
Okay, try your best. So on February 23rd, JP files for spousal support.
I'm
She has nothing. I don't know I have no idea what that's about.
I would like support.
I know. It was later dismissed, but that's important to note because on
looking
that
him up.
very same day, he hits on a server at a restaurant that he goes to, gets her number, and proceeds to send her creepy messages asking for nudes and whatnot. And when she tells him she doesn't have any, that
She's 16.
she has bathing suit pictures, and he's like, "Oh, that'll do," and or that she does something with a mermaid tail, like maybe she's like
Wait.
you know those like performers that do water or
Yeah.
whatever. Like you can just buy a mermaid tail and be in a pool and play mermaids or whatever. He's like, "Send me
I feel
that."
like we should all probably try to do that this summer.
Oh my gosh, can we play mermaids?
Oh my God. And we can take that. Would be funny.
I'm
wanna
gonna play
be the
sea
purple
lion.
one.
I'm gonna lay on the side on a towel, and you guys can flop around with your tails. I'll play sea lion while you play mermaids. So.
Yeah. So he actually, like, when you asked if he talked bad about her at church and stuff like that, he did. Like, he would reference things in sermons. Like, he says, talks about mentally ill people and how they don't know they're sick. He says, you have to trust people around you. The thing that's sick is your mind. And your mind is what you need to realize that you're sick. Like, what a douche. No shit.
Oh my God.
Ugh, how annoying. Let's see. He also preaches a sermon where he reveals that he went through 2 years of messages on her phone.
Who has the time for that? Especially if he's fucking 5 times a day.
Right? And then he found like 18 people she'd reached out to.
Yeah.
And she they told her, if you ever want to talk about your husband, you can talk to me. I'll keep it confidential. He was very upset by this. And he claimed that that's a demon talking.
It's a demon.
Everything's a demon that we don't like these days.
Everything's a demon.
Or that makes us feel tingly in our bits. Okay. Oh, he also, in that same sermon, says, one thing I'm going to preach about is getting rich, strong, healthy, and finding a hot wife that loves Jesus, all while wearing his wedding ring. They're not divorced yet.
Who did he say that to?
His
the congregation.
I'm going to fucking kill him. But I'm really not, for anyone that's a cop and listening.
Yeah.
I hope he gets so much butt play.
It sounds like he'll like it, though, if he's like banging.
I don't know if he's used to his teeny tiny penis.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, I didn't know they got that big.
He tells the congregation about how his wife was in the hospital and that as soon as she got out, she left him.
Oh, my God.
He says she gets out and just leaves, just completely leaves me, leaves everything, drains the bank account and just goes. Guess what? While you're talking bad about me out there, I'm building a school in Africa for over 100 kids to be able to be fed.
Because that's what schools do, is feed.
In reality, he moved their assets to his name, leaving her with basically nothing. She could barely even buy groceries and had to borrow money from her friends and stuff like that. Aww. And that ministry, Dare to Care, supposed to be planning the school in Africa, is now under investigation for misusing funds.
What?
Of course.
I'm so
he
shocked.
probably took the money from the church, said he was doing that, and then filtered it.
She was also named in all of that as being a person who took money from the organization. I don't know a lot about that, but it seems to me like that she was totally set up to take the fall for whatever was found out.
I'm sure she was.
Yeah.
He was probably buying sex workers. And she was...
Yeah,
I can't cope with this. I have to look him up. I was like, I cannot remember the. Like, it was so hard for me to remember the last. And she's gorgeous.
Isn't she pretty?
And he looks like a pedophile.
He looks
from
like
straight up. He looks like a pedophile.
like a fucking asshole.
She
deluxe.
is way too pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has a small, thin penis.
Oh yeah, that he puts self tanner on with a Q-tip. Like, yeah, you know that he puts tanner on it. I'm just gonna say it. Everyone's thinking it. I'm just gonna say it.
So weird. You're probably right. So he also gives sermons about how the Bible says divorce is wrong, and if she wanted out, she was going to have to leave him, and yada yada.
Oh, is he using the divorce as a sin?
Yes. Oh God, yes. Mica really struggled with that, and in fact, she made some videos about it.
She did
on March 18th. Yeah, the next day, she posted a video encouraging others, saying, I just want to make sure my heart doesn't have any unforgiveness, bitterness, resentment, just forgiveness and hope for the future and peace. That's all she wanted. So yeah, but the stress of everything definitely continued in her life. She did not have peace. She talked to her sister and her brother and said that she was afraid she wasn't going to make it to the divorce and that she would be dead before then. And she also told her sister that she thought she was being followed. She made several reports in the last few weeks of her life about her tires being slashed and tracking devices being found. And in an email that was forwarded to, I believe, Mica's brother, and in another report too, JP apologizes to Mica for the tires and taking responsibility for the tracking and the harassing and all of that, saying, oh, when I'm hurt or when someone hurts me, I try to hurt them back rather than forgiving and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, what a good preacher.
Right?
Yeah. He is definitely living by God's will.
I know. But don't get a divorce.
Psycho.
God forbid, but murder them.
But
you can't divorce, but you can kill.
I just have to say it. I'm going to say it. And I don't know if you're going to say it. But when he posted for 1 hour, he posted a topless photo of her.
Yeah.
On his social media.
Yes.
And that was part of his apology was that email.
That was also included.
He said, I wanted to hurt you. But yeah, he posted it on his his
Am I going to include that? Of course I'm going to include that.
Yeah. Okay.
What a douchebag he was.
I know.
Who does that?
I'm sorry I posted your titties, but I deleted it after an hour. Oh, well, thank you.
Why even do it in the first place?
Thank you, my savior,
You're
for taking it down.
You're a pastor.
I know.
I can't.
Oh, my God.
So she also told her siblings, if I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not by me.
Yep, that was one of the big things I had seen. JP. She said exactly that. You know what sucks on this one, besides literally everything in that tiny dicked prick, is just the fact that she did everything still right.
Right?
Yeah.
Once more, I mean, besides going to the cops and like getting a restraining order, what more? I don't know. I just don't know. And I want to act like, Heather, if Will, who literally feels like my brother, started doing this shit, I would hold you in a cocoon and I would get like a security system in my house and I wouldn't let you leave and I'd make you freaking delicious meals and you'd gain 20 pounds, but you'd be happy and sassy. But I just... You know, and I'd have someone on the front step.
He's nice to me, and I kind of want to do that.
Someone on the front step with a gun, like at my house. I don't know. It's like, what could the friends have done? Like, I'm just trying to figure.
I don't know.
That's all I can think is.
Of course, you can always do more. Even if you did that, then you could be like, well, I didn't install a moat.
Well, somehow he killed
Yeah.
her at the grocery store the one time I let her leave to go get something. You know, I don't know.
So many people still believe, oh, that would never happen. You know?
that's
I don't know,
true.
but if you feel like someone will kill you, like, it's a feeling.
I know.
Because you know. And she knew. And she communicated
This
it.
was only-
This whole thing is sad.
It was only a couple months before she died. But she also posted another video, you know, suggesting that she was being abused physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. And said, you know, God hates divorce, but how does he feel about abuse?
No
and
kidding.
I know. And also suggested that he had forced her to take illegal drugs, which I don't know if that's like... other than like the prescription drugs that he made her take, or if it was like, here, snort this coke and let's go fuck a homeless man or something. I can't believe I just said that out of my mouth.
Look on your face when you said
You
it.
literally said it, and then you turtled in on yourself.
You did turtle it.
I was like, I totally get that's a hard thing to
Put
say.
soap in my own mouth.
But I do wonder if it wasn't like, well, let's make sure that we have some drugs in your system so that we can also once more, I can then take you, Britney Spears it. You know what I mean? I'll take you to court and I'll give a drug test and they're going to realize that you had benzos in your system.
Ah,
so you're
yes.
welcome.
Yeah.
That's a good point for the,
Yeah.
Okay, so April 16th, Mica files for spousal support, and a hearing notice was sent out. A couple days later, a court date set for June 5th for the divorce.
Oh, wow.
That's April 23rd that happens. April 27th, so 4 days later, is whenever Mica calls 911, tells the operator that she's going to kill herself, and she wants to make sure that her family knows where she is. They don't worry, like they know where to find her body. Very calm.
calls.
She calls 911 and does this. She's very calm, not in duress at all. It has since been suspected that AI was possibly used for this phone call.
Oh.
One of JP's lawyers, his name is Tom Whitlow, whose property backs up to the national park where her body was found.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He has tons of online presence regarding the use of AI.
Oh, son of a motherfucker.
And like knows how to use it for all kinds of reasons.
I mean, you can do someone's voice.
You can
Like-
be a
Yes, you
shirt,
can.
yeah.
Yeah. Pictures. Some people think pictures of her taken recently have been altered.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. I was just talking to Spence about that. Like, how many sex videos are we going to think was from, like, I'm going to send a photo of Heather fucking Spence to Will.
Oh my God.
And
I
be
love
like,
it.
give me
What?
just it's something that's impossible.
And I'm out.
Like, I want
That's it for
1.5
me.
million, or I'm gonna leak it, and it looks
Yeah.
exactly like you. You know what? Like we're in a place.
Yeah.
We're in a
It's
place,
scary.
but that is fucking terrifying.
It's definitely scary.
I hate that.
Ugh.
There was also video surveillance of her leaving her apartment by herself, going to a gun store. I don't know if
I
this
saw
was the
that.
day.
She was
Was
smiling.
this
It
the
was-
day that she died?
It was the day.
So there
It
was
a
no
pawn
waiting
shop.
period or whatsoever there,
No, it
I'm
was the
sure.
same.
No, I went and
Same
bought
day.
my gun. Got it when I was there.
Yeah. But in the interaction at the gun store, I don't know if y'all saw it, but like she is just smiling like
Yeah.
a normal customer service interaction, nothing like your Kroger experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
nobody put her gun in a bag for her.
She does not seem like someone who is so like depressed they're gonna go kill
No,
themselves.
I almost think in the video to me it looked like she got a gun because she was worried for herself,
Maybe for
her own
protection.
safety.
Like a
Yes.
And the
self-defense.
timing where like if he's stalking her and he's following her and she's scared for her life, so she gets a gun to protect herself and he sees her get a gun, because when you purchase a gun, you're not allowed to have anyone touch the gun. They have to walk you outside of the store or walk you to the front of the store. They're going to hand you the gun and no one can touch it. No one can touch it. You can't go into the parking lot and hand it to your spouse and be like, can you
Yeah.
put it in the truck? No one can touch it. So I wonder if he and it takes time. It's not like a 10-minute thing. You're going to be there for at least an hour for the process. But I wonder if she was organically buying said gun, was in a good mood, but just making sure like, hey, I'm going to fucking shoot him if he tries to get me.
Yeah, since she was worried.
And then if you're that date wasn't even chosen, I almost wonder, unless he like always knew he was going to do the AI phone call, or he also could have had a gun to her head and said, make the call. That's what I thought. But we are just now getting into AI.
Yeah. I never even once thought about the other flip side.
The next day is whenever he announces to the congregation, obviously, because after she buys the gun, she makes the phone call, she goes to the park
and just shoots herself.
Allegedly.
It was so sad. I hate that.
So it was that gun and only fired once.
Well, her father, some of her family members have information. I'm not sure how they've gotten it or where they've gotten it. Yeah. But I read somewhere that there was another bullet hole in a tree and 2 casings found.
That's what I'm like. I would never, if I was going to, like, I'm not suicidal, but if I was going to shoot myself, which wouldn't be the way I'd go because I'd want an open casket. Women don't typically
shoot themselves.
No, we don't.
Either.
Unless we're going through, like, our daughter just died. Like, something like a very extreme, and I run upstairs and I'm just going to do it type of deal. But I would never shoot a gun for the very first time up against my head.
Right.
I wouldn't know if it was going to shoot, what the backfire was. Like, what is this shot? You have to try it.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was like, no way somebody just bought a gun and shot themselves in the head right after. You don't even know what the kickback feels like. You don't know anything about it.
I know nothing about that. I don't even know what that is. The power from shooting the bullet goes backwards.
Well, that's how people have shot themselves on accident, not on accident, but they shot themselves, but they weren't familiar with the gun, or the gun misfires or something. And that's how they shoot the top of their head, or they shoot their jaw off and they live.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like the craziest thing to me would be ever to shoot yourself with a gun you've never fired before.
Yeah. The family also somehow has said that she had bruising and scratches with blood in them on her hand, like her wrist and her hand.
Yeah, like someone grabbed it and held her hand.
And it would have had to have happened before she died if there was blood in the scratches.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, the day that Pastor Asshat announced to the congregation that she was dead, 2 days later, he's caught trying to get in her apartment. The manager of the apartment stops him.
2 days.
Good for the manager.
2 days after.
Well, I'm glad he stopped him and he wasn't like, here.
Why couldn't he have just waited for like the court processing of everything? You know what I mean? You just be like, I need to get in. I know, unless you're doing, like, unless there's something wrong, you need to get in there.
You're not going in there to grab her perfume to spray it on your pillow because you're sad.
Nope.
You're not doing anything.
Nope.
Because he wants love spell.
By this point, he already had somebody new, which we'll talk about. And had her for a minute. But her sister also posted on Facebook telling people not to listen to false stories being told about her by him.
Oh, yeah.
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
Did she shoot up her neighborhood? Was that like a real thing?
That I want to say that JP's dad put that out there in a very unhinged.
He's talking a lot of fucking
his dad, her father-in-law.
That's the newest
there's
information.
There's a whole article of him being like, she was a sick woman, and he says all of this shit, and he's like, she was super sick. She literally shot up the neighborhood, and saying that she had taken a gun, and which then says there was a gun, and that there were shots, and that she has a gun fucking fetish, if you will. But there's no. I'm like, you don't get to just shoot up or shoot at a neighborhood. That's literally how he fucking worded it. Shot at a neighborhood. Once more, that is not the appropriate way to say a sentence. Shoot up a neighborhood, yes, but not shoot at. But you don't get to do that, and then like there not be this thing called like a paper trail with the police department.
Yeah, he seems totally crazy as well.
He does.
I mean, the apple doesn't fall far.
For all we know, he touched his son.
Right. Oh, I mean, very well could have.
The fact that he's coming out that crazy, I'm like, you probably did some fucked up shit to your son, and you're like, you know what? I know my son's crazy. Let me hurry up and throw shade on someone else.
There's more about him out there too, being a piece of shit.
My whole night's going to be on TikTok now.
I'm telling you, mine has been
watching this.
Yeah,
this is what I did in Florida.
Oh, when you guys were both in Florida
it was
without
raining.
me?
Oh,
that's really fucking cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
You guys should talk about
way
it.
to go.
Let's just finish the podcast about how you guys were in fucking Florida the whole time. And that it was my certificate in the heather. I could have gone there. We could have been together. No,
I
we
don't
could
know
not
why I
have
brought that up, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes I let Heather out of the house.
I'm just going to slowly
basement.
back away and go out the door. So her family, Micah's family, truly believes that she did not kill herself.
Yeah.
And they also did not want her body to be cremated for obvious reasons. They wanted to be able to investigate thoroughly. I mean, they didn't even do like gunshot residue tests or anything like that. I don't think there was like a drug test or I don't know. They normally do those things, I think, with an autopsy. They didn't want her body to be cremated, and, well, she was cremated very quickly.
Of course she was.
Who releases a body back to their abusive husband? Documented abuse.
I just wonder how they would have, I don't know. I just think about it and I'm like, at the end of the day, the police department is all overwhelmed. Whack off the dick. I don't even care about it. But they're going to say that they didn't figure it out until after. Because the first thing they do is go and see where she lives and who her spouse is. And goes to the spouse. And he's like, you know, it just, by the time people get the ball rolling so fast in the background.
Yeah.
They do.
Well, I wonder about the police department too, because didn't the FBI was coming in and now they're not working together anymore?
Okay, so I keep getting this backwards. Either South Carolina or North Carolina is kind of just done with the investigation. I want to say it's South Carolina because North Carolina is where her body was found. But the FBI has been brought in. And I don't know if it's because the incident happened over state lines, and often that happens, or if the family and social media, like if there has been enough attention to it that they're like, this is a mess. There's more going on here, especially with all the financial stuff with the church and the charity. Like,
they'll be all over that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No gunshot residue test.
I just feel like that would have been a minimum.
Right?
I just feel like
Because
it's
it's very
that's
possible
like
that she was forced to shoot herself.
Yeah.
So possible. So her death was ruled to suicide by authorities. He, JP, apparently sent texts to her family hours before she died, like 5 hours maybe, saying, this is what happens when you encourage a woman to leave her husband. This happened. She killed herself because she had been without her lithium that she desperately needed. You all convinced her she didn't have mental illness and blah, blah, blah.
Before she died.
Yeah, that before and after. After was the mental illness thing. And he's like, I'll let you know what the services are or whatever.
Could you imagine? I could not imagine me killing Travis and then texting his mother and father and his sister and being like, this is what happens when you guys tell her that, when you guys tell him he's fine, he needed those drugs and now he's dead. And they're like, wait, what?
I didn't like it that she was telling them all
his
of
dirty
this
laundry.
fucked up shit about him, that she was telling them the truth about him, and he couldn't control that narrative, so he just was unhinged with them.
Where is he doing now?
But there was a post that he was removed as pastor.
I saw
but
that.
He's still been preaching there.
Yeah.
He's still been there.
They
he
said
gave
that-
her eulogy.
Yeah, that's insane. The fact that they told him when all that sex addiction and sex worker problem came out, they told him to go to counseling for it, and he refused, and a lot of the congregation left, is what I read.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you're not going to go to
How can you guide
therapy.
us if you won't even
You won't
work
even
through
try.
your own issues?
Exactly.
I mean, there's great preachers who have gone through addiction
Nobody's
and they've
perfect.
come out on the other side and they're like, I'm so good at helping people through addiction. It's like, you're not even trying.
Yeah, but he told everybody he had a problem. He was like,
That's what I'm saying.
And then they
That's
were
what I'm
like, go
saying.
get help. And he's like,
It's like,
no.
look, I made it through it and really just going home shooting up the heroin. Like,
Yeah.
what? I don't-
But in a sermon since then, he has talked about how he's been so messed up over this. It might have been her eulogy. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was crazy, though.
That he claims that he tried to raise her from the dead multiple times.
Yeah, did you read that weird thing?
But he
where
also claimed he wasn't even there. He was in Charleston with his new lover.
Yeah, but they said that he said he was with her body 4 or 5 times, and he even got to lay with it. I'm like,
What we
What?
know now about him
Why are you laying with her?
in the biblical sense.
Yeah, I want to know. I don't know. That just creeped me out so bad.
I know.
I need to see this bitch's.
He also
new
talked
girlfriend.
about how, this is he's never been so messed up in his life, but the church has done the best it's ever done in the past 4 weeks. And
They're getting death threats.
that he's been on lithium and going to see a psychiatrist like every day or something like that since then. And apparently it's come out, his dad in that statement said that he actually had, I guess, tried to commit suicide before.
Oof.
And there was a video that was released. I don't know when the video was taken.
Okay.
Of JP laying in somebody's yard, like sobbing and losing his shit, saying, I just want to be with my kids. And he was like distraught out of his mind.
Oh.
But I don't know what the date is on that. I couldn't.
Oh, no.
I
Trying
couldn't
to find
find
his
that.
girlfriend on the socials.
Right, because his alibi is this girlfriend, who he has been seen in public with since 2021.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
After her husband died under mysterious circumstances.
I didn't know that.
Shut your mouth holes.
He drowned in a swimming pool. Now, he was a paraplegic, but he went to the swimming pool almost every day. He was very familiar with it. It was one of the things that he loved to do.
So it was out of character. Like,
but
'cause
he drowned?
yeah, that'd be something you do every day, and then
Yeah,
one day, no.
Especially
Right?
knowing the risk. You know?
exactly.
Yeah, no.
Who did his funeral?
Stop.
Oh, he did too?
JP.
I hate this guy.
JP.
I hate this so much. He also dresses like a complete douche canoe.
Yeah.
I really want to punch him in the fucking face.
Same.
So bad.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This, yeah, we're
He's
gonna
got a
have to-
real punchable face too.
He does have a very
real punchable face.
So while the police have said that they don't have any corroborating evidence to say that he is to be charged with her murder,
Yet.
he is definitely in my eyes responsible.
Oh, 100%. They
For
better
sure.
get
So
some-
they are investigating, right?
Yeah, the investigation
God.
is ongoing. There's new crazy fucked up shit that comes out every day.
Yeah, and more's
multiple
gonna come
times
by.
a day. And more is going to come out. There's more church members speaking out. There's more ex-girlfriends or attempted girlfriends to
Right.
come out
Yeah.
that he tried to get with.
There are 17-year-olds who have lots to say.
Yes.
Oh.
With their frappuccinos from Starbucks
Mm-hmm.
and their Target bags.
Yes. I want a frappuccino.
I do too, and I want to go to Target. Call me a 17-year-old.
We're going to have to do an update on
Yeah.
this one.
I know.
We'll have to have you record it, and we'll just add it on the end.
Yeah, he's
we
going
really
down.
won't because this is a long episode.
Yeah.
I know. I'm really sorry about that. There was just
No,
so
it's-
much.
Longer episodes are going to also happen whenever there's 3 people because we just have lots of opinions, especially whenever you throw crazy shit at us.
I know,
it's very
right?
hard to not swing at the big fat ball you're lobbing in front of us.
I mean,
this
for real.
whole time.
Right? And there were lots of balls.
Lots of big old balls lobbing right at us. Big old balls. I want to punch his butthole. That's how much I hate him.
Oh, yeah.
I just want him to be humiliated in such a major way. Like he humiliated her.
Yeah.
I want him
Yeah.
to feel as desperate and
Broken
hopeless
and shattered and
as he made her feel.
yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
And I want him
Sounds
to.
like it's going to happen.
Yeah. I want him to
I
have
hope.
major hemorrhoids.
We've seen so much terrible shit anymore. I don't fucking know, you guys.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith in anything. Sadly. I'm over here like I'm a journal about this, but I'm like, fuck. I don't have a lot of faith, even with all this attention, all this media attention. Because whenever you look, tickety tocketies is going haywire
Yes.
over it. And so people are talking, and usually that is when people scream loudly, someone's gonna come running in. We just got to see whether or not they have enough evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with his, he's a narcissist. He wants attention. Like there's
He'll
a
keep it
very
on
good
him.
chance he will shoot himself in the foot.
Oh,
Just
You're totally right.
being desperate to stay in the eye of it all.
Oh, for
and
sure.
get that sympathy that he so desperately wants.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
needs.
man.
But
We all.
That's a fucked up fucking story.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks
Of
for
the sad death of Mica Miller
I know.
and her
God.
douchebag preacher.
It's just so awful. It is so. It makes me just furious that there are people like him out there that take advantage of
100%.
young women all over the world.
And then
Right
they
here,
get these-
right here in Owensboro. I mean, and wherever you are, wherever you live, there is some asshole preacher taking
Yeah.
advantage of somebody.
That's right.
It's terrible. And then they get these the power positions. I just can't get over the fact that you were the preacher, and no one, and this, and
there are
no
people
one,
still going
and no
there.
one, and I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't understand how we can be so blind and ignorant and hone in on what we want to hone into. Yes, I totally understand seeing the good and having the positive vibes and do all that shit and fucking, I don't know, charge your moon water. But at the end of the day, pay fucking attention to the screaming bad shit at you.
That's true.
And don't keep your mouth shut. Stand up for it before something worse fucking happens.
That's right.
We all sit there and fucking
Hallelujah.
listen. It's just stop. Just stop.
There's a group on Facebook we should all follow, Justice for Micah, and that's where her friends and people are keeping track of everything. And
Let's do it.
Okay. Well,
we'll throw that on the Facebook page when this episode comes out.
yes, we will.
Thank you.
You know
You're
what else
welcome.
that everyone should do and will make me furious and stand up for what I believe in? Subscribe. And
You said
rate.
it makes you furious.
Yeah, if you don't do it.
Oh, I was like, that's why I got him feeling.
Yeah, no. Rate,
Like
review,
what?
subscribe to all of our shit.
Please.
All of our things.
they
the
share really good
TikToks.
memes on social media too.
You know what? We do.
Heather does.
But-
Let's be honest. It's Heather. It's Heather. So whenever you're like, oh my God, they're so funny. Really, it's Heather. Heather's meme game and gift game has been so strong. I always thought it from the very beginning of our relationship. I was like, that bitch is so funny. She can really deliver on the memes.
Yeah,
now
you're a
she's
good gift
immune to
giver.
my-
She is.
a gift
And
giver.
she's a great gift giver too.
GIF and gifts.
Oh, I love this.
what a
I
good
didn't mean
time.
to wrap it up bragging about me, but okay.
But we'll do it
You're
anyway.
both amazing, and I love you. And thank you for having me again.
Thanks, MCAT.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the best. Okay, we love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Theodore, can I bet that